Mansoor Karam. I'm VP Products here at Juniper, CEO and founder at Apstra. Um, as you know, we've been acquired by Juniper, and maybe just to give you a bit of an update. We're quite excited with the momentum. We're excited with the early indications, with the customer engagements. We closed the first deal, like the first day the acquisition itself closed. It was a regional bank. And it was an indication of the pipeline growth. That again, it's early days, but we're quite excited. I know that a lot of people, a lot of folks, are asking about our multi-vendor commitment, and I want to mention that we are absolutely committed to our multi-vendor approach. So we will be supporting, of course, Juniper equipment, but we will also continue supporting Cisco, Arista, the established vendors, but also Mellanox, Cumulus, and Sonic. And the reason for this is that, simply put, this is what customers want. Customers want a management solution that works across vendor. It's one thing to say that I'm going to buy equipment from one vendor, with knowing that you can always leverage open protocols and use and deploy, from equipment from another vendor at a later point in time. But then it's a different thing altogether to say that I'm going to buy a management solution that restricts me from only deploying one switch vendor. And so, that's lock-in at a very different level that, and customers want to avoid that. And so we want to give what customers want. And with our platform, our solution was built from the ground up, with a principle to be multi-vendor. And this was, one of the key requirements we had in mind when we built the solution, and we will continue, absolutely. Regarding 4.0, yeah, it's a big release for us. We've been working on it for a long time. I think one of the key kind of innovations or capabilities that we're bringing in with this release is the added flexibility that customers have, so that they can deploy Apstra in more environments, in more use cases. And so, if you think of the Apstra approach, it's always been turnkey simplicity. It's about delivering a simple, consistent operational model, and also being the single throat to choke, meaning that we support everything that we manage, right? End to end. And in order to deliver this turnkey simplicity, generally you have, with automation solutions, kind of a spectrum, and you have some sort of a trade-off between how much, how simple you want the solution to be, how automated you want it to be, kind of turnkey. And in order to do that, you need to make some compromises when it comes to flexibility. You can't be supporting all of the various, geek knobs and options that customers want. And on the other side of the spectrum, you have, these platform technologies. You can think of Ansible, which you can configure anything you want with these, but then, you can really shoot yourself in the foot, because if you were to have one configuration command that has a mistake, and then you click a button and you push it across thousands of switches, you're going to be dead in the water, right? And so with Apstra, we've always leaned on the turnkey simplicity, but with this new release, we've kind of added a lot of flexibility, bringing it, closer to this kind of ideal point where you have both this turnkey simplicity, but also the added flexibility. So that's number one. Number two is enhanced NSXT 3.0 support. So we used to support an older version, but now we support 3.0, which is the latest NSXT version. And we leverage this new capability, right? With the flexibility is brought by a feature that we call connectivity template. And so we leverage connectivity templates to support NSXT. And because we're leveraging it in this way, it delivers it in that added flexibility that comes with connectivity templates. And the key challenge that we're solving, the key pain point we're solving with this integration, is this lack of correlation between the underlay, essentially the network fabric itself, and the overlay, which is NSXT. And usually these are two separate teams, but in order for NSXT to work, there is deep dependency on the underlay. There are specific configurations that need to be there, specific requirements in terms of the MTU size. There are specific VLANs that need to be set up. And if you get any of those wrong, then it's simply not going to work. And so with the integration, we ensure that the underlay delivers on the requirements of the overlay. And by ensuring that, we ensure that indeed this NSXT overlay is going to work as intended. And if we find mistakes or if we find any omissions, then we will highlight these, and there will be a workflow that is fully automated to remediate these issues. And once you have an NSXT set up, then you have the ability to correlate what's going on at the overlay level, in terms of application performance with the underlay. And so you will have the ability to answer granular questions as to whether or not the performance of your underlay is delivering on the requirements of the apps at the overlay. So that is the second big capability. And the third capability, and we had already started this prior to the acquisition, which is support for SONiC. And here specifically, it is enterprise SONiC. We've seen a lot of momentum with SONiC over the last year. For a while, it was the hyperscalers, certainly Microsoft, which sponsored SONiC and deploys it in Azure, but also a lot of the other hyperscalers. They have, experimented with SONiC and deployed SONiC in production, but not the enterprises. And that's because SONiC itself lacked the features that you need in enterprise deployments, like, for example, EVPN, VXLAN, and also the type of manageability that is required in these enterprise deployments. And so the industry kind of came together and has delivered a version of SONiC that works for the enterprise. And certainly our Apstra has participated in that. And now it's there, and it's a viable solution technically for those enterprises. And where Apstra comes in is that we are essentially supporting this version of SONiC the same way we support the other switch operating systems in our portfolio, such as certainly those from the established vendors. And so, which means that now, with SONiC, customers will have that same seamless experience, that same seamless operational model, turnkey simplicity that they would get with with the Apstra solution combined with any of the other switch vendors. This is important because while SONiC has now the capabilities required for the enterprise, and it has fundamentally a good architecture, it doesn't have the same type of command line interface that you would get with the established vendors. And so it is really hard to use if it's not combined, with the solutions such as Apstra that makes the whole experience seamless. So I'd say these are kind of the three key innovations that we have brought to market with our Apstra 4.0 release.